Did you know having a sore shoulder makes me very clumsy? I've hit my head multiple times. Apparently my balance is off. Anyway, I'm Esther and I'm gonna make something out of this fabric. So I'm gonna use this pattern as a guideline rather than a rule, because as I've figured out, patterns are guidelines and not rules. You don't have to exactly follow them. You can make some little adjustments, which is what I'm gonna do. Like, the main thing is gonna be exactly the same, but instead of a fabric belt thingy, I'm just going to use elastic in the waist and have it get it that way. So I already have a boiler suit. It does have a belt. It's just a little bigger. It has long sleeves and it's denim, so it is completely different from this one. But I just want something I can wear just simply, and I don't have to bother with a belt. I just want this to be very comfortable, because it's probably going to be some sort of a replacement for my red dungarees that I destroyed in a video that I probably will link somewhere here, because I need something comfortable and fun to wear, and this is going to be fun. I think if this is going to work out, I will wear it non-stop. It feels like a very me thing to have in my wardrobe, so I'm excited. I hope you are too, and yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? So, hi. First of all, this is so that my bunny can't go upstairs and destroy everything in its path. Anyway, so I was struggling finding out what size I should be using for this pattern. I think a lot of people have this problem, but you know, like you measure yourself and then suddenly you're in 3 different sizes and you now have to choose one. So I was in that, so I just went upping with my mum to find out which size would be the smart move. And I did that. It's size 10, I think. We will find out. It's always very complicated because, you know, like my boobs, that's never the problem. That's always the smallest size. Always. But my hips is always the biggest size. You know, like you don't want to have this will be baggy because I don't feel very comfortable in baggy. But at the same time, I still want my hips to fit in. This is, I believe, a little bit of an oversized pattern, which is why I chose 10 and not 12, because actually the size measurements say 12, but then it would be very big on top. So we're going with 10. And there's also a lot of, there's 1.5 centimeter sew allowance, so I just will use less of that to make up for it. Yes, and also I might try to lengthen the trousers, because if I read it correctly, it's going to be very short on me, and I kind of want it a bit longer and then fold it over, and right now that would make it shorts or something. Anyway, let's get cutting. Or it'll start. This is kind of what I always do. It's just trying to figure out the size. Sizes are very complicated. It's already complicated when you're just buying a piece of garment, but when making it, I suppose is less, because you can make adjustments along the way, and you can always better go for a little bit bigger, because it's easier to make things smaller than it is to make things bigger. So yeah, just going for 10 and hope for the best. Wish me luck. I did some prepping. I got all the interfacing for all the pieces that the pattern said needed one. So I believe this is a crotch and this is a neck piece and such. And also did all the stay stitching on all the round edges because the pattern said I should. And I did the darts on the front. Can you see it? I don't know. And the next step is to mesh both the front piece and the back pieces of the top together. Yes, that's what the pattern says. I was already starting to, like, I don't know how to put the elastic in because that's not the pattern and that's something I'm gonna do on my own. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's first focus on making the top and the bottom. And when those two are done, then I'm gonna worry about that. It's day 2. Yes, I'm wearing the same thing again, but it's comfortable, and also shouldn't people be praised by wearing the same clothes multiple times because it's better for the environment, right? Anyway, this is what I'm wearing. Again, socks are different though. See, socks are different. Anyway, so this morning you saw a little bit of what I did. Put this one on top of that with the base stitching. Don't know why, but I assume the pattern will explain. So like the top bit is done for now, because now the instructions say to move on to the pants. So that's what I'm doing. I already sewed the two front bits together only in the crotch area, and then did a snippety snip. And by everything that I've sewn, I also zigzagged along the edges. If you have a serger, then I would suggest doing that, but I don't have one, because 1, I don't have the money, and 2, I don't think I have the space for it. But anyway, so what I need to do now is put in the pockets on the front. That's what it says. So let's see what we need to do for that. Cool. No, wait. No, just gonna read it. So, okay, so I need to, we have 2 different sets of pieces for the, words. So we have 2 different sets of shapes for the pockets. We first need to do these, and we need to put them right side on top of the trousers, and then sew along that, and then fold over, and I have to finish it off with the top stitching because according to the instructions that would be the most neat way. And then we need to put these bits and then sew, like this is then already attached to the trousers, and then right sides together, and then sew like that, and then not sew the pants that way too, because then it's gonna stuck. And then just finish up by zigzagging. So that's what I'm gonna do. it's day 4 of sewing this jumpsuit. It's like, go, Phoebe. Yeah, so it's day 4 of sewing this. It is a suit, like it is together. I do need to press the seams because they're a little bit bulky right now, but I think that will be done at a later step. Yeah, because everything is really messy where I need to iron, and I did press open these seams, but this is a small piece, so it would not get into my dishes, my dirty dishes, but a big piece like a complete suit will. So yeah, that will be later. Right now we're gonna insert this piece. This is like the lining, I suppose, and then sew that. And then basically next step will be buttons, but the problem is I do not have buttons. I hope they will arrive, but since everything have gone so smoothly with sewing this project, I wonder if... So if you hear noises, that's my bunny. She's very much awake right now. Yeah, so... Hi, don't do the pins. Thank you. So yeah, insert that, and then probably think about how I'm gonna put the elastic in. I have a slight idea right now, like, because the thing is, when making this, I opted for 10, but I was kind of worried that like the bottom half would be slightly too tight on my hips, because according to the chart, my hip measurement would match up with size 12. So I cut them out as a size 10, but instead of like 1.5 centimeters of seam allowance, I did like 1 centimeter seam allowance. So it's slightly bigger, which means that it's slightly wrinkly on where the trousers meet the top plate. But I think that is not going to show because I'm going to put elastic in anyway, and that would also wrinkle it, but then on purpose. So that's good. So yeah, put this in, and then on to the next step, whichever that might be. I'm thinking the elastic, but I kind of don't want to put the elastic in before I have put in the buttons, because it would be a lot easier to kind of figure out where exactly I need to put the elastic and how big the elastic is if I know how the button, if I can close it properly, which I can't right now because no buttons. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm gonna get back to work. Great. So, hi. As you can see, I finished it. I finished the project. It went very smooth until the buttons. First of all, they were later than I expected, but also not right. I have an example here. I tested it out because I got confused, but I don't think these buttons are necessarily for normal pieces of garment. Here. So it sticks out. So I assume it's supposed to be for a very thick fabric. I'm not certain where they are for. I'm glad that I tested it out first, because else I might have fucked up my entire suit. And I really love it. I think it's nice, it's fun, it's comfortable, and I think I will wear it a lot. Okay, anyway, I luckily had 2 other press buttons, because the reason I choose press buttons is because I didn't want to make buttonholes or sew in buttons. Basically laziness, and also I was not certain about what kind of buttons, so I thought like just simple metal ones would be the nicest. So I had like 2 press buttons left from another project I made. Actually, the first ever proper piece of garment, well, proper, it's in back of my closet because I don't love the way it is. I might be able to fix it here and there, but it's a summer piece, so that's gonna be for later. Anyway, so I had 2 of them. It works. It would be better if I had 2 more, so I might end up getting some, but in the current circumstances, I don't really want to go into the city, and also I don't have money right now, so yeah, won't do that. But anyway, these are the buttons. Yeah, so like the 2 places, and when I stand up, it's quite fine. So I might even be able to just put like 2 small invisible press buttons in between those spaces, because when I sit down, it flaps, like it doesn't sit nicely. You can see my shirt underneath it. But yeah, I think it works out fine. It looks quite intentional because it's a nice space between them. But I do think I want to either have 2 more of them, just so the gapping is not there. But I might do some press buttons. I will think about it. But for now, I can wear it, and then it's super comfortable because it's now, like I do have a problem with a lot of suits that, it's too short, so you basically have a constant wedgie. This doesn't give me that, so that's great. I like it. I like the elastic waist because it's comfortable, and I do have now like shape in it without having to tie something around my waist, so it's very easy to put on. Plus, it has enough space for me to wear a legging underneath for when it's get colder, and I like that. So, yeah. What else? Yeah. So basically, the whole process went smooth. Even the elastic, it was very easy. So for the waist, I cut out a rectangle the same width as the back side of my pant, and sew those like a tube on the inside. And then I cut out an elastic waistband. No, not waistband. I cut out elastic from about 27 centimeters. That's kind of what I guesstimate what I wanted to, like. I measured with my body and just hold and pull the fabric back to see what the measurements would be, and it would be around 27 centimeters. I did add some seam allowance for 1 centimeter so I could actually fit it in. I do think it ended up even shorter when I pinned it in place, and no, I wanted to be a little more tight, so it probably is around 26 or 25 centimeters, the elastic, how I sewn it in. And that's it, basically. And this the buttons I hammered on. That's the project. So yeah, everything went smooth, except for the buttons. But it worked out all fine. So, we're good. And I'm excited for my next project. A little nervous, but excited. So, this was actually a very nice project. It was very easy. I think it would even be easier if you just did the belt thing. Although this is very easy. So, yeah. It's very simple. I will put the link down below for if you want to make this yourself. It's very simple. The instructions are very clear. Also, you get a little booklet of the instructions, and at the end there are all the terms for which stitch is what, which is nice because you always have, and with every pattern you get to do an E-stitch or do a base stitch, and normally I just Google what it means. I kind of get the terms, but I never trust myself to actually know it, so I like to be confirmed that what I think a certain stitch is actually the stitch. So it's nice to have a little description of what it is without having to pull up Google. Yeah, it's very nice. I love it. And if you like me sewing and rambling and whatever, then, perhaps think about subscribing. Also, I would love it if you like this video and comment on it, if you would make it, if you liked it. And I will see you next time, probably next week.